Computer system cannot function without this type of software known as operating system. It is also referred to as a system software. That's why it's very important for us to understand the various functions of OS. Now, as you can see from this particular diagram, the OS has different functions that you're going to look at. One crucial function is to manage the hardware. And as you're going to see within the rest of this particular video, other additional functions, maybe to mention a few memory management, security, and so on. So if you're interested in this particular topic, kindly hang on till the end of this particular video so that you learn more about the functions of the operating system. Happy learning. Hi Lana, hello and welcome once again to Learner's Coach. So today we are going to look at the various functions of an operating system, and ideally this is a very crucial software that the computer needs for it to operate successfully. So this particular diagram here consolidates or summarizes the key functions of the operating system that you're going to look at, right? Such as providing the essential utility programs, providing interface for the user, providing security. So this is basically a highlight of what you expect to understand from this particular discussion. So as we dive deep into understanding the various functions of the operating system, it is crucial for us to understand what is a computer software, right? So ideally we have different types of computer software, operating system being one of them. So a software can be seen as a set of programs which are designed to perform a particular well-defined function. So for us to come up with a software, you need to have some kind of sequence of instructions written for it to solve a given problem. So there are mainly two types of software. These are the system software and the application software. So in our discussion, system software here can also be looked at as an operating system, or the other name of a system software is what? An operating system. So we're not going to talk about the other type of softwares since we have dedicated this one to the functions of operating system. So you can see there's the diagram there showing the various steps of the operating system. We have Windows, we have Linux, and so on. So diving deep into understanding what a computer software is, we need to look at this particular diagram so that we understand ideally what is the main function of the operating system. Now if you look at this diagram, you can see that at the bottom we have hardware, right? At this part there's hardware, then at the top of hardware we have the operating system. So I think our discussion will just concentrate on these last two. Now the operating system actually is closer to the hardware. So that means the main function of an operating system is to manage all the hardware functions. So we are saying that the computer hardware can and will never function without the operating system. So let's take that we need to have an operating system for the hardware to operate as expected. So you can see even this particular diagram giving us a branch of where the operating system lies. So these are just other categories of softwares that we shall look at in our previous tutorials. Now, talking about the operating system, or rather the system software, they have their own characteristics and features. Now, we have looked at this, but the previous diagram, it shows that the operating system is closer to the system. So that is one feature. And they are very fast in speed based on how the sequence of instructions, they are meant to execute very, very fast. Operating systems are difficult to design. Unlike other softwares, such as the application softwares, they tend to require a lot of, or some kind of stepping curve, right, to actually come up with a system software. So other kind of softwares are easy to design, and of course we have the other one is difficult to understand. We have few operating systems, so that can tell us why they are difficult to understand. They're less interactive, right? Then we have, they are smaller in size, unlike other softwares, they'll always be smaller in size. They are difficult to manipulate, and that's why you need to purchase some kind of licenses. And of course, even if you have the license to operate it, you'll always not need to have some kind of coding idea in order to manipulate. And of course, they are written in low-level languages, right? So unlike other softwares, you will find that the system software requires understanding of low-level languages to be able to develop them. So these are just some kind of characteristics or features. So let's look at ideally what this particular operating system comprise. What does it comprise of, and what are the key functions, right? So we've already looked at the various features of this particular software, right? So every device needs to have it, right? It provides the interface. We have already looked at that. In fact, 2 interfaces, right? Now, what are the main functions of the operating system? Because that's why we have this particular tutorial. Number one is to manage hardware resources. So we have seen that. So it manages all these categories of hardwares. Name them. Memory. It could be the keyboard, the input-output devices. It could be the storage devices. It could be also the processor itself, right? The other function is to provide user interface. Now, we have seen that for the user to be able to interact with the computer, they need to have some graphical user interface to work with. So this graphical user interface is provided by the operating system. And from the diagram also, you have seen that it provides the interface between the application software and the hardware itself. So if, for example, you want to save your Word document or your Excel document on the hard disk, that is the work of the operating system. It coordinates that particular process. We also have the other key function. It provides security. So how does it provide security? One, of course, it helps you to create some username and password. That is the, the first way of it providing security. The other way that it enhances security is ensuring that the malicious softwares doesn't get into a computer. So it has inbuilt kind of programs that helps thwart the entrance of these particular malicious programs. The other key function of the operating system is the utility software. Now, utility softwares can be seen as the very essential softwares that the computer needs when it comes to maintenance, right? So wherever you are using the hard disk, you'll have the disk cleanup utility programs. You'll also have the antiviruses. So they are very essential programs that really that the operating system requires for it to operate successfully. The other function is the job accounting. So the operating system also keeps tracks of time and resources that are used for various jobs. Maybe you have printed, it keeps tracks of that. You have downloaded some files. It also has the control over system performance. So it records delays between the request for a particular service and from the system. So it monitors the system performance. It also provides interaction between the operators, various operators, right? So it creates a way of how the processor sends instructions and of how the user can receive these particular instructions in form of output, right? It also offers some kind of error detection system or functions. So wherever there's some kind of problems, it stores them within some kind of error logs. So it can only provide you these messages and know exactly what is happening in their system. Lastly, it also offers coordination between other softwares you have seen. So if you're a programmer and you want to maybe do some kind of interpretation or assemblies or compilation, the operating system is going to provide that particular platform so that you can successfully create your own program or software. So ladies and gentlemen, those are some of the key functions of the operating systems that you need to actually know. So right from the word go, kindly remember that one key function of the operating system is to manage all hardware resources. So should you find this kind of tutorial interesting and useful, always feel free to subscribe.